All right, this is our practice quiz. I just want to make sure we got a couple things in. It says fill in the blank. Vertical lines have, remember this is undefined slope. They have undefined slope because the zero is underneath. And when the zero is underneath, it's undefined. So vertical lines, undefined slope. You may also write no slope. That's different than zero slope. Zero slope means the zero is in the rise and it's on top, so you put zero slope up there. The equation y equals 3, because it says y equals, that's a horizontal line. What it says is a vertical line, let's put false. X equals, true or false, horizontal and vertical are, that's true. And then the fraction 0 divided by 5 is undefined, that's false. And that's false because the 0 is on top. 0 divided by 5 is 0. That's like with the horizontal line up there, 0 divided by 5. Okay, I showed you a couple different ways. The slope of this line is negative 1/3, so the slope perpendicular to it is up 1 and left 3, up 1 and left 3. So you draw it in there, and these lines, if I kept going, they would be parallel, because if you have a slope of negative 1/3 and your parallel slope is negative 1/3, and you're using the point 5, negative 2, if you remember, y equals mx plus b, I just substitute that in. So I substitute negative 2 in for that. My m is negative 1/3, my 5. So now it's solve for b. To solve for b, I have to add 5/3. To add 5/3, this is what I showed you. That was a little bit confusing. You have to change that to 6/3. So 6/3 and 5/3. So b is negative 1/3. So I know that this line right here is a line that has a slope of negative 1/3, because parallel lines have the same slope, and a y-intercept of negative 1/3. And this is using slope-intercept. You use slope-intercept, point slope. Yeah, that's it. That's a pretty easy way to do it. Just plugging it into y equals mx plus b. Okay, now it says perpendicular. This line has a slope of 2. Since this line has a slope of 2, and you want the perpendicular line, you have to take this 2 over 1 and you have to flip it and make it negative. So now you're writing the equation of a line with a point that goes 2, 2. So up 1 and over 2, up 1 and over, up 1 and left 2, and I draw the line in there, and it's like that. So these two lines are perpendicular. The line that goes through the point 2, 2 and has a slope of negative 1/2. So you just plug those numbers in. The slope is negative 1/2. So 2 equals negative 1 plus b. Add 1, so b equals 3. If I'm going to have a b of 3 and a slope of negative 1/2, so y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. And then look at the picture I drew. Here's my 3. My slope is negative 1/2. That, and it works. I wanted you to do these right here. Okay, find the equation line perpendicular to y equals negative 2x plus 7, so m equals negative 2. So if the slope is negative 2, the perpendicular slope is positive 1/2. And it's positive because that's the opposite. It's 1/2 because it's reciprocal. So what you have to do is you have to take this point right here, and the y equals m times x plus b. So negative 3 equals half of negative 8 is negative 4. So your perpendicular line is y equals 1/2 x plus 1. Now just to show you, you don't have to do it both ways, but I just wanted to show you y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, because there's a lot of people that like doing it point slope form. So if you took that negative and put it in, that would give you 3. You put the slope in, that would give you 1/2 x plus 8. So y plus 3 equals 1/2 x plus 4. And I subtracted. I see that I still get the same answer. But slope intercept, point slope. Slope intercept is a great, perfectly fine way of solving it. Point slope is perfectly fine way of solving it. X plus 2y, a little more hard. You plug in a -8 and a -3, that gives you -14. It's a little tougher. I'm sorry. There, I broke my own rule. When the slope is positive, the equation is negative. There we go. Now when I plug in a -8 and a -3, I get -2, which when you solve it for y, I notice I get 1/2 x. I get the same answer. Any way I do it. You don't have to do it all 3 ways. So just I want to make sure you understand what's going on. So find the equation line is parallel to x equals 4. Well, if it's going to be parallel to x equals 4, that's x equals 4 right there. That's a vertical line. Remember, it has rise, but it doesn't have run, so it has no slope. It's a vertical line. So if it's going to be parallel to this, it's going to be another vertical line. So the only vertical line that goes through is x equals -10. It's got to be x equals. That's the only one that goes through x equals -10. If it said perpendicular to it, it said perpendicular to x equals 4, but goes through that point. Well, the only line that's perpendicular to this would be y equals 12. If they asked for perpendicular, you'd say the y value. They asked for parallel, so it's got to have the same slope. So it's x equals -10. Let's look. There's x equals -10. And x equals -10 goes through the point -10 and 12. Find the equation line the perpendicular to y equals -2. Same concept. If it's perpendicular, the equation y equals -2 is a horizontal line. There's y equals -2. It's horizontal because it has no rise, but it does have run, so that's 0 slope. And if I want to be parallel to it, I'd go through y equals 7, but this doesn't say parallel, it says perpendicular. So that means it's an x equals line. So x equals -8. And it's perpendicular to no.